It started with a knock at my door and a piece of paper taped to my mailbox. Immediate violation, unauthorized use of water. I laughed at first. How could anyone own water? But my HOA wasn't joking. They were about to cut off my entire neighborhood's access to the river and sell it to the highest bidder. My name is Sarah Whitman. I'm a civil engineer and a single mom of 2 boys. When I bought my home in Brookside Hollow, the selling point was the river, clean, clear water flowing right behind our cul-de-sac. Families fished there. Kids swam there. It was the heart of our community. But the HOA didn't see a river. They saw dollar signs. The president, Richard Holloway, was a failed real estate developer who found new life running our HOA like a cartel boss. Picture slick suits, a gold watch, and a smile that never reached his eyes. He bragged about unlocking the community's hidden value. What he didn't say out loud was that his plan was simple. Claim the HOA owned the river. Lease water rights to a bottling company. Fine any homeowner who dared to touch it. It began small. A warning letter for letting my kids skip stones. Then fines, $200, then $500, then $1,000 for unauthorized interaction with HOA-controlled water. When I refused to pay, Richard escalated. He padlocked the community gate that led to the riverbank. He even hired armed security guards to patrol the waterline. A public resource turned into private profit. One night, I snuck down to the river with my engineering gear. I traced the new piping Richard had installed. It led straight to an industrial pump house hidden by tarps. Inside, I found invoices, millions of gallons contracted to a private bottling company. But here's the kicker. He wasn't just stealing water. He was selling polluted runoff that failed federal safety standards, and falsifying the reports. If families drank that bottled water, they'd get sick. Maybe worse. The next morning, my car tires were slashed. I got letters threatening foreclosure for delinquent HOA dues. My neighbors stopped talking to me, too afraid of Richard's retaliation. Then the scariest moment. My boys came home crying. The security guards had yelled at them for walking too close to the river. One guard grabbed my son's backpack and searched it. That was it. I wasn't going to let this maniac turn my home into a prison. I gathered everything: photos, invoices, water test results. I called a friend from my college days who now worked at the Environmental Protection Agency. We set a trap. Hidden cameras at the pump house. Samples taken straight from the pipes. Financial trails pulled from HOA accounts. It didn't take long to connect the dots. Richard was laundering money through shell companies, using HOA dues to build his water empire. The HOA's annual meeting turned into a showdown. Richard stood at the microphone, bragging about record profits and new opportunities. That's when I walked in with EPA agents. We played the footage on the projector. Richard signing falsified water reports, guards dumping chemical barrels near the riverbank. Neighbors gasped. Richard tried to run, but 2 federal marshals were waiting at the door. The charges? Environmental fraud, racketeering, child endangerment. The HOA board was dissolved. The river was placed under community trust, protected forever. EPA crews cleaned up the pollution, and families finally returned to the water. Richard Holloway? He's serving 25 years in federal prison. His gold watch now sits in an evidence locker. As for me, my boys and I swim in the river every summer. Because some things, like clean water, like freedom, don't belong to an HOA. They belong to everyone. Do you think an HOA should have the power to control water, land, and even people's lives? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe communities should fight back against corruption, like and subscribe.